life. Huh. Well, this story and some of the stories that have been happening in particular amongst the Black community as it relates to theme parks lately has been very somber, very sad, and very disappointing. I don't know if you guys have heard about this story, but there was a huge brawl at Disney that occurred just yesterday, July 21st. Two families, one in particular in the Black community, at Disney World broke out into this huge physical fight. The sad part is, Disney World is a theme park for children, where children go and it's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. But instead of children being able to enjoy the festivities at Disneyland, they had to witness just adults behaving like immature children, fighting over God knows what they were fighting over. I have no clue what they were fighting over, but only God knows. But it's so disappointed because there were kids witnessing this horrific scene of two families engaging in this meaningless brawl while they're crying in disappointment, and they're setting a very terrible example for their children. And also we'll talk about briefly about the other devastating story that happened at Sesame Street with 6-year-old children being rejected by someone they admired, one of the Sesame Street characters. It is just such a sad day sad week for the Black community as it relates to theme parks. But for this particular brawl, we need to do better. So let's talk about it. So two groups got into a fight at Disney World, ending in arrest, and one person was hospitalized. I'm just so thankful that no one passed away. That's like the one good thing about this situation is that no one passed away. I don't believe the person who is hospitalized is in critical condition, but I am not sure. But that's the good news is no one passed away. We already know how these fights usually end. They're usually horrific. But you can see it's just sad that this happened at one of the happiest places where children go to escape all the world, and anything that may appear to have the darkness of the world when they go to Disneyland. It's supposed to be all flowers and cupcakes and just a happy place, but no. Adults, guys, adults were behaving immaturely and fighting over probably the most minute, small issue. Maybe somebody cut in line or something. Who knows what it was about. The brawl occurred Wednesday evening inside the Magic Kingdom. So I was mistaken. I thought it was July 21st. It was actually July 20th. According to a spokesperson for the Orange County Sheriff's Office in Orlando, Florida, deputies conducted their investigation and subsequently arrested 3 people for misdemeanor battery. And that was from the sheriff's office. One person was taken to the hospital for a minor injury. And that is the one good thing, like I said, is that no one ended up in a casket. That's just what I'm happy about, that no one ended up in grave injury. According to the blog Walt Disney World News Today, one family was in line for Mickey's Fill-A-Hair Magic concert when a member left the line to grab her cell phone, which she had left in her electric convenience vehicle. When she tried to rejoin the line, oh Lord, I knew this was like somebody cutting in line. When she tried to rejoin the line, another family refused to let her in and physically pushed her back, and a guest told Wow News Today. See, I knew it. It was going to be something petty like someone cut in line. So they got into this huge physical fight, ended up with criminal charges now. Whether or not they're misdemeanor, that can affect your ability to get employment later on. So, I mean, for them to sacrifice their reputation, their criminal record, to fight over something so petty, someone cutting in line. And I mean, we all know it's general knowledge when you have a group of people, like a family in line, and if a family member comes and joins, and we all see that they join because they're a part of the family. It's really not a big deal, but you're all going to get in line. So they fought over one person who left and came back. Wow. A confrontation between the families unfolded outside after the show ended. Oh, wow. Wow. Today, parents could not independently verify this information, and a spokesperson from Walt Disney World did not immediately return requests for comment. Fights do occasionally break out at theme parks. Yeah, because it's hot, people are stressed, there's a lot of people in crowds, they're irritated. These lines sometimes can take hours to even get on the ride. I get it. But as parents, and when you know you're at a theme park with children, you have to be a role model. That means you have to demonstrate to children how they behave if they don't get things they want. Because children, they automatically, if you take their toy, for example, they don't like sharing. So if you have little Johnny come over and play with Kelly, and Kelly has her toys, a lot of times the little girl doesn't know how to share. So she's going to probably have a tantrum, fight over her toy, so forth. Well, parents should not be doing that, fighting over a space in line. They should share the spaces and just let it go, because that demonstrates to children how we behave when we don't get what we want. But this is terrible. This is the worst place of all places for them to do this. But anyway, this week, after multiple fights involving teenagers, forced Naughty's Berry Farm in Buena Park to close early, the theme park issued a new chaperone policy. Chaperone policy. It's late, guys. I'm really tired, so I might say things wrong because I'm not even fully awake right now. So, theme park issued a new chaperone policy on Fridays and Saturdays until further notice, according to Code of Conduct. So they had to have a chaperone just to. That's sad. So they had to have a chaperone now because people don't want to behave right. That is just pitiful. It's unnecessary. But now they have to have chaperones because people don't want to listen. People don't want to behave themselves and have self-control. Under the new policy, guests under the age of 17 must be accompanied at all times by a chaperone who are 21 or older. So this must have started with kids then, or teenagers? Oh, that was the other fight that happened at, they said, at Berry Farm, Buena Park. Okay. Anyone who doesn't follow the policy could be removed from the park. Last year, a Las Vegas man was sentenced to 6 months in jail for participating in a 2019 family brawl in Disney's Toontown. Oh my gosh. This just deters people from wanting to go to theme parks. It's like, why would you want to go to a theme park, bring your children there, especially if you're not a part of the brawl and you know how to control yourself and understand? I mean, it does get irritating when you see people cut in line. I get it. But if you can see that this person was already in line and they just happened to leave to get a cell phone and they're coming back to rejoin their family, I mean, it's only fair. That's the whole purpose of Disney, to be up with your family and enjoy the rides together. It's a common kind courtesy thing to just let them back in line. I don't understand, guys. Video taken by a bystander depicted a man spitting on a woman, hitting her face and pulling her hair. Wow. A man doing this, guys. A man spitting on a woman, hitting her face and pulling her hair. Wow. Overpowering this woman. Oh, I can't believe this, guys. Multiple people joined the tussle, and an elderly woman in a wheelchair was injured. Poor elderly woman. That's sad. So even an elderly woman was victimized because people cannot control their emotions. I mean, over a ride. That's the thing. Just think of the things people get mad over. Just things that are so petty. One man recently shot two women at a Subway because he put too much mayonnaise. She put too much mayonnaise on his sandwich. So he shot both of the girls that were working at the Subway. I'm like, the things we get mad over. Ugh. And now they're fighting over a space in line. And these people, I don't know why they were fighting back in 2019, but who knows? And in 2019, a fight broke out between a group of teenagers at Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri, according to the sheriff's office in Clay County. In a tweet, the department added, "It's unfortunate that families and children have their evening disrupted by these events." It's so sad. It's like, I think one thing we need to teach in schools before people become adults is the importance of self-control and handling conflict. They need to emphasize conflict resolution for adults and everybody, because it's just like, we have to be able to, I understand people can frustrate you, but we have to be able to control ourselves and also be role models to the children who watch us. That's why our kids grow up fighting and behaving the way they do, because they see their parents do it. But anyways, let's watch this video about what happened at the Brawl, unfortunately. And that part was not even actually the real part, because there's actually a full video of it that I don't want to put on here. I'll probably see if I can get you guys a link to it though, and I'll put it in my description so you can click on it if you want to watch it. But you have to scroll down into the article to watch it. But it's just, this is so sad, man. You guys, this is like, people are, I don't understand, you guys, why people do this in front of children. It's really disappointing. But anyways, let's see if we can find anything else. The one good thing about this, you guys, and I probably don't really go too much in detail about the rest of it, but one thing that's good about it is that no one ended up dead, basically. No one ended up dead. So that's the sad part about it. But the lesson we need to learn from this is don't sweat the small stuff. Sorry of all these pop-ups, guys. But don't sweat the small stuff. Don't let little things like places in line and all these little small things get to your emotions, because it can jeopardize your future. It could jeopardize your criminal record. You know, these people probably, I don't even know if they do, but what if they had no criminal history at all? And now, because of a very petty thing of just a spot in line, now they're going to have a whole misdemeanor. I mean, well, they may get lucky and get some type of diversion, meaning they can do community service and they'll get dismissed. But either way, it just inconveniences their life now because they did something so petty. We have to be able to think before we do things. I mean, some people, the way they just, kind of come down from anger is they'll walk away and count, whatever you have to do. But you have to think about the ultimate consequences of that anger. Although it's human nature to be angry, we just have to learn how to process it differently and control ourselves. So let's segue into another sad story. Oh gosh, guys, that happened at theme parks. But this one is more so heartbreaking as it relates to children. These two little cute 6-year-old girls, innocent in life, not understanding the hatred that is displayed and has been displayed historically in America as it relates to the Black community in particular. These little girls, in my opinion, them being so small and innocent, were not aware of their skin color and how their skin color can cause them to be hated by others simply because of the way they look. It's sad. And these poor kids were introduced at such a young, premature age of a form of rejection just because of who they are. And it's very heartbreaking, very sad. But it essentially what happened was these two little 6-year-olds went to Sesame Place, and they saw one of their favorite characters, and they reached out, and they were just humiliated, completely rejected, and they had a look on their face of confusion, like, what's going on? Like, why am I being rejected? Why won't the character talk to me? It was so sad. It really pricked at my heart and just my heartstrings to make me feel so much empathy for those kids, because I know they were feeling so confused. And the aunt who spoke out about it, she talks about how sad it was for for her nieces, and how they were so confused and so heartbroken. And she had to sit them down. And for the first time at such a premature age, 6 years old, she had to tell them about, what goes on in society as it relates to being Black. And she had to explain, some people don't like you, some people are just mean people and they just don't like you for certain reasons she went into. But she shouldn't have to sit down and talk to a 6-year-old about that, especially theme parks. We invest a lot of money. We pay a lot of money to go to these theme parks. And one of the things that they're supposed to do is entertain the children. Okay, that is their job. That's why they're paid to do what they do. That's why people buy their tickets. And for them to reject these children when they paid for the services, basically paid for the entertainment, it's just a horrible form of customer service on top of it. So let's just get into the story, guys.
Park near Philadelphia. A family says a visit there last week ended with a hurtful and humiliating racial snub by one of the park's costume characters, and they are not accepting the park's initial apology. Here's CBS's Jerika Duncan.
After Sesame Place character Rosita walked past 6-year-old Skylar and Nyla on Saturday, Jody Brown shared it on Instagram from singer Kelly Rowland.
She deserves an explanation.
To civil rights attorney Ben Crump, more than 15,000 people have commented.
The apologies were not genuine.
Today, Brown, alongside her attorney, B. Ivory Lamar, called for the firing of the employee who appeared to ignore her daughter and niece.
We want a genuine and authentic apology. Okay? We want the acceptance of responsibility here.
Sesame Place, owned by SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment, posted 2 statements. The first one said, the performer portraying the Rosita character confirmed that the no-hand gesture seen several times in the video was not directed to any specific person. Rather, it was a response to multiple requests to hold a child for a photo, which is not permitted. They posted a second statement the next day, which started with an apology to the family and plans to take action to do better.
How do you know?
You see, the reason why they posted the second post was because the first post was insensitive, it was gaslighting, and it was a way to not take accountability. You see, they tried to dance around it and find a false, in my opinion, a false excuse for the employee who clearly lacks cultural humility. If you watch that video, and I'm gonna try to go back to the video, let's go back to it, you will notice 2 different actions. So this employee, and the employee's defense is that they were trying to, basically say no to a couple of people in the crowd who were trying to ask the character to pick up some of their kids for photos. And so you can see in the video, yes, there is a part before he gets to those 2 little children, he or she, I don't know if it's a he or she, he looks into the crowd and waves no. But then you notice his head look down, his or her head look down at the 2 little girls and shoos them away. So, and then another excuse that Sesame Street tried to make was that, oh, the characters, they're so high up that they can't see below. Well, this is a theme park that is centered around children. So their customer is the child. So it is very reasonable for them to be looking down. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be entertaining the children. So that lie, again, was unreasonable. So they got huge backlash for that lie. Many people were commenting on their post, and they were irate. They were angry. They could see right through Sesame Street's excuses, false excuses, to minimizing the situation, and they called it out for what it was. And so now Sesame Street had to do some damage control, and they had to take accountability. Probably their PR team said, you need to just take accountability, because if you don't, you're going to lose a huge support. You're going to use huge support from customers going forward. And the interesting part, in this particular location where this theme park is located, it's predominantly a Black community. So if you lose the Black community, basically if they lose the Black community, they lose the majority of their customers. So, and the interesting thing about it, you guys, is that Sesame Street, as you can see from these characters here, they are known for inclusivity. They have traditionally tried to be inclusive and show other ethnicities on their show to show that they accept others. And they have this cultural humility. But the problem is they don't screen for that when they hire individuals. They don't. They just hire anybody off the street, basically. Basically, you guys. And the problem with this particular person, this employee who shooed away those poor innocent 2 girls, who had to be introduced to their skin color and how it impacts other people because of their own preconceived hatred. But basically this employee, other parents started coming out. So after this mother spoke out about, what happened to her daughter and her niece, other parents, other Black parents, guys, started coming out, responding, saying, that happened to my kid. And they all had video footage of it. So her attorney was receiving phone calls left and right from other parents who had video footage of this same employee doing the same thing, shooing off these Black children. So their excuse of, oh, they didn't see the children, or she was shooing off generally, was a bogus excuse that was false, and it was outlined by the pattern of conduct from this particular character and how this character responded to other Black children on different occasions. So with that previous history of this person being, showing racial disregard for other cultures, particularly the Black community, Sesame Street needs to demonstrate its stance against this behavior by unfortunately laying off this person, letting this person go because this person has a pattern of hatred toward the Black community. It's already demonstrated through all this video footage. And if they truly are saying that they want to be inclusive and they respect, other cultures, and they want to show that they accept others, I personally think the key demonstration is to let this person go, because this person would not align with Sesame Street's mission and its overall goal. Ew, sorry guys, my laptop's dying. So let me play this and plug it in while you guys watch this.
The characters are licensed from Sesame Workshop, the nonprofit best known for producing Sesame Street and its cast of inclusive and diverse characters. Today, in a statement to CBS News, the Sesame Workshop said in part, "It's unacceptable that our beloved characters and brand have contributed in any way to the pain and hurt of any child or family."
Sesame Place had an opportunity to see that video at that time. They chose to dismiss this family.
Jody Brown's attorney shared with me another video that has yet to be released. In that video, you can see the Rosita character acknowledge another child right after passing those two girls. And Nora, Jody Brown says that other child was not Black.
Drika Duncan, thank you.
Okay, guys, so I wanted to go back to that video. Oops.
Tell me about your ball.
Let's see if I can find that video on YouTube with the Sesame Street, because I want to go back to that video and I want to see you guys. Oh yeah, there it is. I want to see you guys to look at the video and tell me what you think, because in the video you can see where the character actually does look down at the kids and then shoo the kid away. So we'll wait till this commercial goes off.
At Sesame Place in Langhorne will now undergo special training as part of the park's response to a now viral video that was posted online over the weekend.
Okay, that's good to hear. They're going to go through special training. And what they need to go through is cultural humility. They need to go through a cultural humility type training where they're able to understand and show empathy and try to know how to treat other cultures, basically. They need that, because the issue that we're seeing here is treating children unfairly just because of how they look. That's very sad.
You may have seen this video. It was posted by a mother showing a character there at the...
Okay, watch this part very clearly. You need to see the two different behaviors of this character. The first behavior is the character does, in its defense, look into the general crowd. When they first look into the general crowd, that's when the character, is telling the other people in the crowd no. But I guess because what the character says is that they were asking for him to pick up some children, him or her. But notice how he high fives the white guy, but how he treats the kids, because he's not there for the adults. He's supposed to be there for the kids, or he or she.
Park appearing to ignore her young...
So see that? High fives the white kid, waves at somebody in the crowd. That's the first thing he did. He waved at someone in the crowd. Now he's looking. You see how I paused it right here? He is looking down. His head is tilted down, and he is looking directly at the children with his hand up, and this is when he shoos the children away. So we know audibly he heard those children speak. Kids they're screaming and trying to get his attention. Then you see the head down here, leaning down, looking directly at them, right? And now waving the palm. And the reason why this is important is because this employee's defense is that he or she did not see the kids. That's the defense. They're claiming, he didn't see the kids, and he or she didn't see the kids, and he was looking into the general crowd. So, this was not racist. But you can see right here, I just paused it, and you can see this character looking directly at the two children as the children are reaching their hands out. He is responding to their request to, get that high five. He just high fived a white person. You saw that very, welcoming of the white person. And then I guess somebody in the crowd was like, hey, carry my kid. And he was like, oh no, I can't do that. And then now seeing these two Black children, looks down at the children and begins to wave his palm in a form of rejection, because you can see the children reaching their hands out to get that get the high five. They want to get the high five too. They saw him high five the white person. So what about them? That's what they're wondering. They're confused. Like, why did he want to touch my hand? But he touched that person's hand. That's the only thing kids think about. They just think about stuff in form of fairness. If someone gets something, then they should get it. So if you give one person a little kid a candy, then you got to give the other kid a candy. You know what I mean? They always look at stuff in a form of fairness. So they're thinking in their head, they just saw him high five this white person, basically. Let's just be talking plain language. And now they're looking at him like, okay, let me get a high five. And he looks down, or he or she looks down, as you can see, head tilted down at the children. And now he's going to wave, or he or she's going to wave the children in a form of rejection.
Young girls who are black.
See?
They were asking.
It goes by so fast. That's why I wanted to go into that, because you see he shakes, he's not only waves away, shakes his head in the form of just like, you don't matter to me. Isn't that so devastating for a kid? Imagine how those kids felt. Just put your mind in, I know it's probably hard for you adults to do that, but try to see if you can remember back to when you were 6. Let's try to see if you can do that. And think back into that innocent mind of a child, and that child's, looking up, seeing this character that they watch on TV, that they admire, probably have a little toy at home, sleep with that toy, everything. These kids, they treat these little characters as their God, They don't know what, things are or what to value yet. And they see this character reach out and give someone a high five, and then they just want the same treatment, and they just get shooed away like they don't matter. Imagine how traumatizing it was for those two kids, and confusing. Like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Why doesn't the character like me? What's wrong with me? Imagine how just heartbroken these kids were, devastated.
For high fives there. The woman who posted that video said the costume character went on to hug.
So watch it again. Look, he reaches out to give the white person a high five with no form of rejection. Very enthusiastic and ready to go. But when the kids ask, it's a whole different ballgame.
A white girl right there in the area. Well, several new videos have since surfaced appearing to show similar incidents with that very same character.
Did you hear that? So there's different videos now being posted with similar incidents with that same character. It's a pattern. It is a pattern. So Sesame Street, and let's read this. Sesame Street had to do damage control, and they're in Philadelphia, guys. So this area is predominantly in the black community. So they had to do this because they knew by trying to deflect, they got a lot of backlash. But they had to take responsibility because their PR team said, you know what, you're not going down the right path. People are not believing this story that your character didn't see this. And now there's other videos coming out. So then they realized, okay, these other videos are coming out. It's obviously an issue. The problem with Sesame Street right now, even though they say we sincerely apologize to the family for their experience in our park on Saturday, we know that it's not okay. We are taking actions to do better. We are committed to making this right. We will conduct training for our employees so they better understand and recognize and deliver on the inclusive, equitable, entertaining experience to our guests. Even though they say that, you guys, their actions do not line up with what they're saying, because they're keeping this particular person who's working in this character, basically displaying this character, they're keeping that person at that particular location. They're employed still. That's the problem. Okay, this person has demonstrated a pattern of hatred toward black children. I mean, there's so many videos coming out now of the same character at the same location. So obviously this person has an embedded hatred, and it's unclear if this person is able and willing to engage in some form of cultural humility, accepting other people, understanding other cultures and their differences, and embracing all individuals. So it's disgusting, guys.
Initial statement calling that incident a misunderstanding, the park issuing an updated statement acknowledging that what happened is not okay and committed to making things right. The children's mother talked about what happened this afternoon, saying she's heartbroken.
the fact that this even happened, the fact that this is even going to be a core memory for them when it comes to Sesame Place is actually disgusting and unbelievable to me.
The lawyer for the family says they plan to fight for justice, adding that no 6-year-old should be forced to live with severe distress after leaving a Sesame Place theme park.
That's sad. And the thing is, this family wasn't even going to pursue civil litigation. They were going to just, all they wanted was apology. They wanted a sincere apology. And they wanted this employee to be laid off, basically, to not be working there anymore. And unfortunately, Sesame Street, they gave the apology, but the question is it sincere? Is it sincere, you guys? Because let's see what this attorney's trying to say. The problem is it sincere because...
We want to turn now to the growing backlash against...
Okay, we already watched this one. But the problem is it sincere? Is it a sincere apology because their behavior is not lining up with the apology that they're presenting? So God knows what they're going to do. You guys let me know what you think about these two devastating stories. I really want your input because it's so sad and heartbreaking to see what's going on in the theme park as it relates to the Black community. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful night.